What's going on, guys? Gamers Goon here today with your Euros knockout round prediction. We got obviously concluded the other day, and Saturday tomorrow is going to be the start of the knockout round. We're starting it off with Switzerland and Italy. Um, for the most part, the Euros, the group stages were really fun. But Switzerland, Italy, Switzerland had a little bit of a late goal in their game by Germany, and allowed Germany to top that group off. But Switzerland, Italy should be a good game. Italy, to me, hasn't been super impressive. 2-1 against Albania. They lost to Spain. They drew against, I believe that is Croatia. And I'm not really feeling them. I'm not really feeling this Italian team. Whereas Switzerland, I look at them. They obviously won their first game against Hungary. They drew with Scotland, not a good draw, but they drew with Germany, which is really good. So two of their three games were really good. Italy's, I'm not really all impressed with what they did. So I'm going to call for an upset here. I got Switzerland beating Italy in the round of the knockout in the stage one. Switzerland tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. my time, will be beating Italy if it goes the way I think it will. Next, we get Germany versus Denmark. Germany, to me, has been the team of the tournament, the team to beat. Denmark, they drew. Denmark made it through. They made it through. They did what they had to do. But Germany's a different beast. Germany, they won 5-1 to Scotland. They won 2-0 against Hungary. Obviously, they had that draw against Switzerland. While Denmark is one of the better teams in the tournament, they're definitely better than Scotland's and teams like that. Germany's having their way with. They're going to have their way with Denmark. I got Germany winning that game. I think Germany's going to go really far. And I'd be really shocked if Denmark is the team really quickly to end all the momentum that Germany has right now coming out of the group stage. Sunday, we started off with England versus Slovakia. Now, I just want to address all them England fans. They're calling for my boy Bukayo Saka to be out of the lineup. Y'all are crazy. You want the starting lineup to be the exact same as it was when you lost to Iceland. Who, by the way, the goal that you gave up, Saka wasn't on the field. He wasn't out there on the pitch. He wasn't there. But you're going to blame him because we want to see Cole Palmer. We want to see Kobe Mainu. We want to see all these guys that have not been proven because they show little flashes here and there. This is not a Saka problem. This is not a Declan Rice problem. This is not it's somewhat of a Jude Bellingham problem, but I don't think it's a Jude Bellingham problem. I think it all stems from Gareth Southgate. I think he is doing an awful job coaching this team. I think it's terrible. Kyle Walker has not been all that impressive for England. Slovakia, I'm going to be honest, Slovakia is not a team you should really be concerned about. Lobotka can make some stuff difficult for you, but realistically, if you're England, you think you should win this game. England, you got to win this game. You got too much talent on that team. I really hate watching them play, which is really weird because I love the England squad. I love a lot of the players on the squad. I think they're really good players. I'm even a big fan of guys like Cole Palmer, Kobe. Pickford's doing well. There's a lot of guys on there. Obviously, since I watch a lot of the Premier League, I know a lot of these guys, and they're fun, exciting players. They just don't know how to use them. And like I said from the beginning, I don't think it's a Saka problem. I don't think it was a Phil Foden problem. Phil Foden left the team. I don't necessarily think it's a Harry Kane problem, even though he hasn't been doing too hot. I don't think it's necessarily a Jude Bellingham problem. The problem is Gareth Southgate doesn't know how to use these guys. He doesn't know how to use Jude Bellingham. He doesn't know how to use Harry Kane. He doesn't know how to use Kyle Walker. He doesn't know any of that. And it's obvious these guys are not playing well. They're not playing well. And you're telling me that Kyle Walker, who just got done winning the Premier League with Man City, is a bad player? You're telling me he's not doing good? You're telling me Bukayo Saka, who helped lead Arsenal to second place, is a bad player. You're telling me Phil Foden can't finish? He's a bad player. You're telling me Harry Kane, who led the Bundesliga in goal scoring, is a bad player? No. These guys aren't bad players. It's Gareth Southgate not knowing what he's doing. Gareth Southgate is terrible. England should win this game. Slovakia, if they end up winning, Gareth Southgate needs to go. Get that guy out of there. He needs to go. Because that's absolutely ridiculous if they lose to Slovakia. England hasn't been exciting yet. Hopefully it becomes exciting in the group stage. Hopefully they figure it out. Hopefully their star players start making some star plays and really just overcoming the potential lack of a real direction with that team. Spain versus Georgia. Georgia, I'm happy to see Georgia make it out of the group stage. It's something I didn't really expect, something that's unique. Georgia being one of the worst teams to qualify, 74th in the FOTMOB rankings of the countries or whatever. One of the not necessarily worst countries, but an underdog country per se. You got a bad draw. I'm not gonna lie. Spain to me they're up there. They're up there with Germany. Germany's just been a slightly more impressive in my opinion. They came in, they handled their business. Spain, they've also came in, handled their business. Now, unlike Germany, they do have 3 wins. They had 9 points. They were able to beat that Italian team 1-0. They were only able to beat Albania 1-0, but I'm not too concerned about that. But still, Georgia, I'm sorry, you got a bad draw. Spain's winning that game. I'm sorry for all you fans if you are from the country of Georgia. Then Monday, we get France versus Belgium. Now, this game I'm excited for. Belgium has been really, really hit or miss this Euros. I'm not gonna lie. They squeaked it out. They barely made it out. They played for a draw because they just didn't want to give up a goal to Ukraine. Because if they did, they would not have made it through. They beat Romania. Good for them for beating Romania, but they lost to Slovakia. They drew against Ukraine. I have not seen really go out there and really go for it type instinct from Belgium. Lukaku's had some goals called back from offsides, but really they haven't gotten the ball rolling. Now France on the other hand, they also have a win. They beat Austria, but they have 2 draws there against Netherlands, who I expect there to be a draw, and then Poland. Now Poland, if you don't know, Poland, I don't believe made it out. They had 1 point. Poland had 1 point, and it was from France. Now, France, you'd like to maybe see be a little bit more, like I said, kind of like Belgium. You really want to see them go for it. You want to see them really attack and try to really go for the win rather than some of these draws that they've been accepting. This is going to be an interesting game because I think both of these teams lack some real firepower. I mean, obviously, that we know they have firepower. We know Mbappe's there. We know Lukaku's there. We know Kevin De Bruyne's there. France, you can just anybody you name on France is probably world class. If you're being honest, Barcola. I mean, there's a lot of guys that can be world class players in this, but they haven't really done that. And similar to England, you just want to see one of these teams kind of just light that switch and do what Germany's doing. Germany has been impressive. Germany's been putting goals in the back of the net. They've gone for it. They really tried to win their games. I mean, yes, they got a draw, but they were attacking. I mean, obviously they're playing behind too, which also helps them attack. But Belgium really felt like they were okay getting that draw, and France, they should win the game against Belgium. But it's going to be a good one. I think both of these teams don't really necessarily want to go for it at times. And France, I'm going to give them the victory, but I would not be shocked if Belgium pulls off the upset because I don't necessarily know what this game's going to look like because I could see both these teams playing well in to the 90-minute mark with 0-0 and maybe going to extra time or pens or something like that because I just would be shocked. Honestly, if France just comes out in like 3-0 Belgium, or if Belgium does that to them, I think it's going to be a close game. I think both of these teams they're not really going to open themselves up in the back, and they're really just going to try to play calm, collected, and not take as many chances. And if one ends up coming their way, then park the bus and win the game. That's kind of what those two teams feel like. So I am going to go France. Portugal versus Slovenia. Portugal has looked pretty solid. They did lose to Georgia, but they didn't really play any of their normal defensive players there. Slovenia, they got 3 draws all the way through. Portugal should win that one. Portugal had a lot of world-class players sitting on the bench in their loss. I don't think that was necessarily a game that we should be putting much stock into when it comes to Portugal. So Portugal, I do have beating Slovenia. Then we got Romania versus the Netherlands. Romania versus the Netherlands. Romania shockingly made it through. I did not expect this out of Romania, but the win against Ukraine did the job. They lost to Belgium. They drew against Slovakia. They did what they needed to do. They got 4 points. Netherlands, they are too good of a squad. I know they beat Austria's been a little bit of a dark horse, let's be honest. But they obviously drew with France. They beat Poland. Netherlands, Romania, your run's been cool, interesting. We didn't really expect Romania to make it through, but Romania, your time's done. Netherlands are going to win that. And then Austria versus Turkey. I'm really high on this Austria team. I know they lost their first game against France, but Poland and Netherlands, they showed up and they played close against France, only 1-0. They had opportunities. It's really interesting looking at this Austria team because I don't think on a team or on paper it's a team that I think would go very far in this tournament. But watching the games, I think they're a really well ran team, and I do expect them to beat Turkey and potentially go on and be able to beat Romania or the Netherlands. I think Austria could be one of those dark horse teams this year. So I'm going to take Austria, but there we have it. Those are my predictions for the first round of the knockout stage. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.